Good point. You know what? Rob Vanstone, if you're still listening, I forgot to ask you your votes. Good point, Commissioner Colson. So Rob, send in your votes. If you want All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey up against Elvis, Blue Christmas.
It's tied again.
Neck and neck.
Yeah, it's just been flipping back and forth.
That's how it should be in the Elite Eight of the Eastern Conference. And then on the other side, we have
Mary's Boy Child, Boney M, Let It Be Christmas, Alan Jackson. That one's also within one vote right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Boney M fans versus Alan Jackson fans, Mariah Carey against Elvis. What a time to be alive. Isn't it, fellas, on the all-new Sports Cage?
Not as good as the 95 World Juniors, though, apparently.
Yeah, 95. Todd Harvey, Jeff O'Neill, Eric Daze. That guy was a force. And Chicago Blackhawks had a good career. You see him on the stream right there if you're watching it. Benny Walchuk. It's time for the SJHL report for Saudi Mainline Chrysler. Are you cooking something, Benny? Do you have pizza pops in the microwave? Or is that Curtis?
No,
is that
we're baking. We're baking. We're baking today. So.
Holiday baking?
Yeah, they did pierogies in the morning and baking in the afternoon. Family Christmas getting prepared here for the Walchuk household.
What do you got? Like a sugar? What do you run? A sugar cookie, gingerbread? What do you got?
Yeah, a little bit of that. We did a s'mores cookie up. We've done some. We're gonna do some marshmallow balls and jams. Yeah, all the good stuff.
How do you get all this done? That's impressive. And you'd pet a hat in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jeez, impressive. The SJHL report is for Saudi Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Saudi Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time. They hold the payments for 90 days right now on a new vehicle at Saudi Mainline. So if you got to do some driving, baking in the back and pierogies and all that, get in a new ride from Saudi Mainline Chrysler. Can we start with the World Junior A Challenge? Team West ends up knocking off Team East for let's call it the bronze medal or the 3-4 game. But really it was Sweden and the USA's tournament this year.
Yeah, it was. USA, like you said, they're part of that development program, so they pretty much play together all the time. They played together growing up, so they were used to each other. And of course, Sweden's team was pretty much the team that was at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup against the best major junior players in the world this past summer. So it was a good team. It was maybe a little bit outmatched with the Canadian squad, but it was good for Canada West to kind of get some momentum, get some positivity out of there. Regina's Cohen Semth, who played for the Regina Pack Canadians a couple of years ago. He's a member of the Flin Flon Bombers. He had a couple of goals. We had Ellis Miette, who of course is just down the road from Lumsden. He played with the Pat Seas. He had a goal and assist as well for the local town. So yeah, it wasn't the showing that I'm sure Hockey Canada was looking for against those elite teams, but we'll see. It's maybe one of those years that it's just the batch of players wasn't maybe as top as maybe other years like they did last year winning it. So it's still a great event, and I'm sure all the players that are involved are pretty happy to represent Canada and get that Hockey Canada experience in.
Yeah, curious what they do next year if they retool it. Maybe add teams again, because I think when I was reading up, at times they've gone up, so there's been about 6 teams in this? Yeah,
there was. Well, Denmark's team in 2015 or 14, it was their World Junior team. They had Oliver Bjorkstrand, Nikolai Ehlers, of course, first-round picks in the NHL draft, and they dominated that tournament. They're basically major junior pro players playing against some junior A players, so they were pretty good. They had Brock Besser, Kyle Connor played in the tournament as well, so it's a tournament that's had some great talent. But yeah, you've had your Denmarks, you've had your Switzerlands before, you've had the Czechia, Slovakia's in the tournaments before, so I think just the cost-wise and putting everything together, they didn't want to get too many teams in, but I think it needs to add a couple more teams just to kind of make it maybe a little bit more prevalent.
What a cool, I guess, outpouring of support. The town of Assiniboia. We had Cody Mapes on Friday, and he was just saying, like, how many billets they had options for and all that. Like, bravo to Assiniboia.
Yeah, it's outstanding. It's just small town Saskatchewan. Of course, he alluded to a couple other communities. Actually, town of Esterhazy had 18 or 19 billets already. They could have housed them as well. But yeah, just it's a great facility. First off, you ever been down to Assiniboia? It's an absolutely stunning facility there for the hockey arena, and just shows what small town Saskatchewan's all about. So of course, they'll play their last game here tonight when they take on the Yorkton Terriers, and they'll be back at Crescent Point Place on Thursday when they take on the Humboldt Broncos. So it's kind of nice to have it back at home here before the holiday break. I know they have a couple more games in the weekend, but I'm sure the Weyburn Red Wings and I'm sure the Billets are probably getting used to some of those players in their houses last week or so. But I'm sure the Red Wings and their organization will be happy to be back home.
Yeah, Yorkton is in Assiniboia tonight. Melfort is in Notre Dame. Nipawin in Flin Flon. As we kind of get going in here to the Christmas break, Benny, what if there was a surprise this year? Maybe a surprise team that's doing well in the league. Who would that be?
I think Melfort knew were going to be good, maybe not as good as they are right now on the 12-game winning streak. I know they lost a lot of talent last year from their roster. Their whole top line, two of their top defensemen, their starting netminder are all gone. But it's a great job by Trevor Blevins recruiting and bringing in some talent from the Western Hockey League with Nick Andrusiak and Riley Cote from the BCHL. So maybe a surprise that they're doing so well and being so ahead. And the Yorkton Terriers thought they were going to be pretty good, maybe not as good as they thought. And of course, with the forfeiture, they could have been even up there with the Melfort Mustangs right at the top of the SJHL standings. So that's another team. I know Kinders had a good start. They're kind of dropping down off. They were a good surprise at the start. And maybe Battleford's a little bit. I know Battleford I know, of course, Braden Kamosko going back to Humboldt, his hometown, to coach. And they had the coaching change right at the beginning of the year. And then Marty Smith comes in, and they're right with the top half of that standings, and they're doing a very good job. A big part of that is Justin Merrick returning back from the Western Hockey League. So maybe a team like the Battleford North Stars, who have been very good the last decade or so, maybe didn't expect them to be so high in the standings, but Marty Smith and Owen Lamb, the coaching staff, they're doing a pretty good job.
If there was a team in the second half of the season that you would say don't sleep on them, maybe they're, like you said, they're not not doing it right now. Who would that be?
That's a tough question. We talked about Melville. Melville was a top half. They kind of dropped off a little bit, but I think they're playing with a little bit of kind of fire in their butts. I know everybody says they lost their leading scorer, which is tough to lose Caden Jury, but they're a team that's going to say, hey, we might have lost our top scorer, but we're still right in there. You just got a goaltender, Ben Lorette, who's very good, some great talent. So that's a team that could surprise. They get a little bit of an easier schedule here in the second half of the season as well. Yorkton Terriers have an easier schedule as well, as they played a lot of home games in the first half of their campaign. So those are a couple of teams, and then you have the teams like you talk about Kindersley. I think they're going to have a little bit better second half. I know they'll be on the road for tons, but the Flin Flon Bombers are a good hockey club. They lost their top scorer, Carter Anderson, but they're still finding ways to win. And I think they are a team that's maybe thought with their last year as their team to win the championship. They came up short. They thought it was a little bit of a rebuild, but Mike Reagan's done a good job of putting that team back together with the recruiting and getting a goaltender, make Matthew Keeper. So it's so wide open. It's been probably as much wide open as I've ever had in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League last 5 or 6 years. So it could be a very, very interesting here in the second half.
We are not going to forget about the fine people in Ituna, Saskatchewan. The big game Friday. They're opening up the barn.
Talk about pierogies, and I think there's gonna be a lot of pierogies being made there on Friday nights. Yes, at the Ituna Arena. There's so many individuals in that community that deserve a shout out. Big one is Jack Shimko. Jack's almost 70 years old, and he was putting glass in the rink himself, I believe, at one point during the build a little bit. So it's a community that always comes together, and it's great to have them finally have that community and the building open. But yeah, big game. Ituna Avalanche. I think they play Strasbourg on Friday nights. At the Ituna Arena, I think it's called. I'm sure there'll be some 6-pack of pierogies probably for sale, and some good burgers as well. So it should be a great time there in Ituna. And like you said, we talked about in the past, a great community, and nice to see them get the barn. And it's probably going to be a little bit chilly then there. So make sure if you're going there, make sure you bundle up a little bit.
You guys craving pierogies over there? Like, we've talked about it so much in this. First 100 people should get a plate of pierogies into that new Ituna barn. So what is Christmas like for you? Like, do you hunker down and watch hockey? What do you do? Because it's probably a nice chance to get away a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Just gonna visit the family, go to the girlfriend's family for a couple of days, and work a little bit, and yeah, prepare because we're December 30th. We get right back at it with the Yorkton Malville New Year's Day rivalry game. So no, it's get together and eat a lot of pierogies, eat a lot of cabbage rolls and sausage. We have about 5 or 6 kinds of pierogies for our Christmas Eve supper, so it's always great for that, and a lot of snacks and everything. Maybe hit the ODR a couple of times, and yeah, enjoy myself and kind of rest up.
Yeah, got to dangle. Get out there and dug. And you got that young fast metabolism, so you can hammer back the pierogies. For me, it's like by day 3, it's only sweats. It's like, oh.
I'm usually a guy that goes into both shifts. We have about 2 or 3 shifts with our family, our Walchuk side, so I'm usually in for both of them. I'm going to try that this year because I've been starving myself a little bit for Christmas time.
What do you guys play? Kaiser, cribbage? What do you got? Yeah?
Kaiser. Yeah, Kaiser 3-spot for sure. A little bit of crib action as well. So yeah, it's there's some people in my family you don't want to play Kaiser with because they get a little bit too competitive. But yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Crib's big too. Yeah.
I've never played crib in my life. It's embarrassing, I know. And Kaiser, it's any kind of Ukrainian, not just to label Ukraine, but it's competitive stuff. It's elbows up Kaiser, especially at Christmas after a few Daiboja. And I suck at Kaiser. Like on the bus, I was the last guy you would ask for a Kaiser partner. I just don't have the attention span. Poker, you get me around a poker table though. I like that stuff. Kaiser.
And everybody has their own rules. Depending what area of the province is, there's always different kind of Kaiser rules. So you got to make sure you kind of settle those down before you even start, because you get halfway in the game and somebody pulls out their own Kaiser rules. So
well, that's how we play it in Kenora. Well, that's not how we play it in Hafford. No, that's good. And then it's like, I'm always the worst. Someone will ask me, why the hell did you bid there? I don't know. I thought I had a good card. Or it's like, why didn't you go 7 or 8? No. Because I don't really know, and I don't like this game. I'm just filling in. Benny, okay, who do you want to vote for? Who's your pick? Mariah Carey against Elvis?
Oh, I'm going to go Elvis. Elvis, yeah.
Okay. That's surprising there. And then we have Alan Jackson against Boney M.
I got to go with Big Al. I like Alan.
Let it be Christmas, Alan Jackson. That's a nice whiskey sipping song right there. Benny, lots of fun, man. Travel safe. Have fun baking and cooking. And then looking forward to everything in the new year, my man.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and be safe as well.
You too.